Greetings, comrades. It's your girl Liv. Nothing's been going on lately. No big changes. Nothing much. Not really much. No events going on lately. But I'm here today to talk to y'all about Striketober, mutual aid, and Raging Against the Machine. So, thanks everyone who responded to my tweet yesterday, asking what y'all wanted to talk about and hear this live stream be about. Because I just have so many ideas about what to do a live stream about, so I couldn't make up my mind. So y'all really giving me some direction. So thanks so much for everyone who tweeted back at me. Thank you. If you don't already follow me on Twitter right there. All right, so let's start talking about Striketober. I follow L Bird, who is at Bernie to Vest on Twitter, who has been keeping up with all the current U.S. strikes going on right now. So I'm going to read from their profile right now, all the current U.S. strikes going on right now. 10,000 John Deere workers, 1,800 Spectrum workers, 1,100 Warrior Met coal miners, 800 nurses against St. Vincent's Hospital, caregivers at Sunrise Northeast Inc., Red Bank Valley teachers in PA striking, 420 Heaven Hill distillery workers in Kentucky, Reno bus drivers strike, 2,000 CWA Catholic healthcare workers, 1,400 Kellogg's employees, 450 steel workers in West Virginia, the strike against Special Metals and Sulfur pumps, dozens of the iron workers, local 851 workers in PA. Hello, my film viewer. I am going over L Bird, who is at Bernie to Vest on Twitter. By one viewer. And what else? I'll just keep going. Where was I? El Milagro strike in Illinois. Musicians in San Antonio. McDonald's workers. Northwestern Compass employees vote to strike. There's so many strikes going on right now. So yes, that is why we are hence calling this Striketober right now. So, where did Striketober come from? Also the general strike just commenced on October 15th. What does this mean? What does this mean for the public, for us, for humanity? What does this mean? So, as I was kind of talking about in a prior podcast, I think it was probably on like Straight Out of Politics with Compton J. We were talking about how COVID-19 has really like awoke a lot of people about everything, but especially pertaining to their work environments, money for how much they're getting paid to work, all that jazz. So that's really changed a lot of things because of COVID, because COVID has permeated every aspect of our society. So, what does this mean going forward? So we're seeing Striketober happening, and we're seeing that happening for a variety of reasons right now because of the social and political and economic climate happening. And we're seeing it happening because of poor working conditions, poor wages, also like with the Southwest American Airlines, they're going on strike for the vaccine mandate. And I believe Southwest just actually said that they were withdrawing the vaccine mandate. But I think American Airlines just started to go on strike. So for a variety of reasons, for a multitude of reasons, people are striking right now. And we got to support this shit. We got to support the hell out of this shit. Solidarity to all strikers, fighting the good fight and trying to right the wrongs of our system and promote awareness to these issues. They're fighting hard, and mainstream media is fighting harder to make sure y'all don't know about these strikes happening right now. I think I saw the other day that first off, let me say, I get all my news from Twitter. I only follow, I probably follow a few mainstream media sources. Probably not, actually. I probably just get the mainstream media from, like, trending. But I follow many independent journalists on Twitter, and that is how I get my news. So I did see the other day that I think mainstream media had just picked up on the fact that John Deere workers were striking, because it's like 10,000 of them. Like, how it's big. It's a big strike, so it's hard to ignore. But, it's Striketober right now, and they're only doting on some strikes that are happening right now, because the mainstream media, who's controlled by the establishment, the ruling class, does not want the mass public to know that people are taking charge right now, taking action, and striking. And this is great. We got to be supporting this. But when we're talking about striking, we also need to be talking about mutual aid. So, all those strikes that are going on right now, you can look them up. I'm sure there's strike funds that you can donate to help support. Probably a bunch of GoFundMe's out there. Also, so many things you can do to help support. If you can't go and strike with them and be on the front lines with them, donate to the strike funds, promote from just, Twitter, social media. Hi, one follower, one viewer. There's so many ways to promote the strikes that are happening right now. But really, knowing and talking about them is also a great way to promote them, because spreading the word that these strikes are happening, it does a lot. That itself is like an act of rebellion and resistance, because mainstream media and the ruling class and the establishment don't want us to know about this. So promoting these, just talking, costs $0. Just talking, retweeting, sharing, all good things to support strikers right now. And to take part in the strike yourself. This is how you can contribute. So, as I said, when we're talking about striking, we also need to be talking about mutual aid. So, what is mutual aid? It's a really hard question, because mutual aid can be so much. To me, there is no wrong way to do mutual aid unless you're doing it and expecting something back in between. Hi, please feel free to, if you have any questions, please ask me. I'm happy. I always want this to be a very interactive conversation. So if you have any questions about the strike, mutual aid, Raging Against the Machine, please let me know, and I'm happy to talk about them. Before you joined, I was talking about L Bird at Bernie Tevest on Twitter. I was reading all of the strikes that are happening in the US right now, and why this is going to Striketober. And then I also want to promote the strikers funds that are probably going on with these strikes, associated with these strikes right now. So just looking up like strikers fund for Kellogg's, for Nabisco, for Amazon. That's a way you can support the strikers. And you know what? If you can't donate, that's okay. Just share that. Just share that link to that information. And that is a way you can show solidarity with the strikers going on right now. Okay, so that is a form of mutual aid. Other forms of mutual aid. I love mutual aid. Okay, so let's talk about what I do, how I got involved with mutual aid. So mutual aid is a relatively new term for me. I think it is for a lot of people, especially Americans who grew up in such a individualized society. But mutual aid is really, really common throughout the world, especially in more communal societies, because it's just a way of life for them. It's just it's just so natural to them, because they just see it as, looking out and caring for your community, which is really what we need to get back to and start promoting. And mutual aid, getting involved in mutual aid, is a great way to help do that. So, I've always been involved with mutual aid. When I first started volunteering or doing an intern in Baltimore City, I would give money, but I was a broke college student, so I didn't have much money to give. And I was like, okay, I want to do something more. So what I did was I would go to the market and buy like bundles of water bottles, granola bars, and like breakfast bars, and I would hand those out when I would be, just commuting to work. It was just something I could do that was really easy, that made me feel like, I'm doing my part, and I don't know, it just made me feel like a little, like I was doing something. I know we all can feel like helpless, and that can be great. But I'm at the point now where I'm still doing that, and I'm still doing mutual aid. But now I've kind of stepped it up a notch, And because of thanks to all y'all's help, donating to my Venmo. If you haven't already, if you want to donate to my Venmo to help support my mutual aid efforts, I go do a Sam's Club run, which I am going to be due to do in the next few days because I'm running low. And I buy in bulk a bunch of items that I put into Ziploc gallon-sized bags, and I distribute to unhoused people throughout my community, which is Annapolis. And then I drive into Baltimore City, which is like 45 minutes away. So, I mean, when I say community, I think of the world of my community. So, like, Baltimore is my community. Annapolis is my community. Africa, Switzerland, China, my community. We're all in this together. I really think, like the butterfly effect, like you do one thing somewhere and it has ripple effects throughout the world. So, when I say community, I really do mean in a global sense. But for my immediate work that I'm doing in my immediate environments and communities are mostly in the Annapolis and Baltimore areas. So I go to Sam's Club, and my dad and I, my dad helps me because it's a lot of stuff. And we get, let's think, we get hand sanitizers, socks, because that's the most requested item at, homeless shelters, pads, deodorant, soap, what else? I'm trying to think of what else is on my dining room table right now. Granola bars, protein shakes. And I think that's about it. And then my dad, because he's been traveling for so long, he's acquired a little stockpile of, travel-sized, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, and body lotions. And so I put those in the kits as well. I also do baby wipes and disinfecting wipes and Band-Aids. So I put all those in, and the kits are usually two of these bags. And I hand them out to unhoused people that I see in the community. And I really got inspired to get more involved with mutual aiding and start doing this kind of work because of shout out to Rome, FHL member Rome, at Holy Rome on Twitter. Hi, Ghost. Hi, Liv. I'm doing very well. Hi, thank you. Please, I want this to be a very interactive conversation and live stream. Whenever I'm doing this, I want y'all to be as involved as possible. So if you have any questions, anything you want to talk about, please just drop it in the chat and let's talk. Let's make this as, interactive and fun as possible. I want this to be a very engaging experience. So, yes, Rome. Shout out to Rome. I saw what he was doing for his mutual aid work for like tour for the poor. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And then Afeni, shout out to Afeni, major girl crush on Afeni. Oh my God. Like these warriors, who are revolutionaries, and really, I just can't say enough good stuff about them. And they're just amazing. And how they've gotten so involved with their communities and spreading all of this knowledge, because that's what Rome has really tried to tell me. Yes, I know. Poor Rome is sick right now. Please, thoughts, prayers, whatever we send to Rome, send to Rome. Got to support our man. We got to help him. We got to get this man through it. And he's, Rome's tour for the poor, and all his mutual aid work, really inspired me to get more involved. And I decided to get more involved by making these mutual aid kits and distributing throughout my community. Besides also, making sure to always, retweet, share mutual aid requests on Twitter. That's pretty much the only social media I'm on. So always on there. Also, when I'm trying to build up the courage to do, which is funny. I'm usually a pretty confident person, but I'm just kind of a little anxious about this. But I am going to try and get out of my shell and go knock on my neighbors' doors and be like, hi, I'm Liv. This is and Zulu, my service dog, will be with me. So I'll be like, hi, I'm Liv. This is Zulu. We live at, 953. You're starting a mutual aid network. Hello. Welcome, everyone. I keep a couple here. I can put you on the screen. I keep a couple extra packs in my trunk in case I run into someone new. Yep. That's great. First aid kits are always awesome. I have, those are always great to have. I always have a first aid kit in my glove compartment in my car. But those are always, good and handy to hand out to people as well. That's also part of the reason why I include Band-Aids and disinfectant. Oh, and I had Neosporin in these mutual aid kits. So yes. What else was I talking about? Rome, mutual aid. Yeah. So, I collect these kits and, but like what I was saying, like, yeah, you're doing it because you want to do something. You want to do your part, get back to the community. But it's just like, it still feels like it's not enough. Like, it's just like, it's not systemic change. These people are still unhoused. These people are still hungry. These people are still not working. People are getting, they don't have access to healthcare. Like, this is still a problem. So, I decided to, get more involved with mutual aid by taking the pause on grad school right now so I can focus all my time and energy on activism and community organizing work, particularly getting more involved in mutual aid. So I did, on top of doing all the stuff I'm doing with these mutual aid kits, I'll also say this. When I deliver these mutual aid kits, okay, I was saying this. Rome was telling me that what you want to do when you give these kits out and stuff is spread knowledge too. And because my interactions are usually short, because I'm like in the city and I'm driving and I'm like dropping them off. I'm not usually parked very, very long. I'm thinking of coming up with little like pamphlets to put in the kits, to get the message across and also get the kits across. But I try to make a little point, if I'm like stopped at a red light or whatever, I'm like, hey, who are you? What's your name? What else can I do to help? And that led me today. So yesterday I went to Baltimore and I was delivering mutual aid kits, and there was a man and a woman that I gave kits to, and I asked, what else can I do to help? And he said he would really like some pants. And I said, okay, I'm on it. I'll be back tomorrow. So I went to Goodwill last night, got a pair of sweatpants and 2 pairs of jeans. And I had my fingers crossed. I was going to find him this morning. I just was like, oh, I'm totally going to find him. I know it. And I couldn't find him. And I was like, what? This sucks. Like, come on, I have these pants. Like, come on. What the hell? And I was, just driving. I go down Martin Luther King Boulevard in Baltimore City because, especially since COVID, and the homelessness or the housing crisis has really exploded, there's been an increase in tent across the city of Baltimore. Across the country, across the world, probably. But for where I've been, I've really seen it in Baltimore, which is Baltimore City, which is like really in the inner city, which is really neglected, and has been suffering for a long, long time. So it's been really heartbreaking to, drive into the city and see all these more tents there. So, I deliver the kits, and I asked, what else can I do to help? And, he said pants. Oh, so today, I went to the city and I couldn't find him, and I, drove around. I looped back around because I couldn't find him. I was like, okay, well, I'll just head back out and I'll see who I hit on my way out. And on my way out, I met a man named, I didn't get his name. But I met a man and I gave him a kit and I said, what else can I do to help? And he said, I could really use a pair of sweatpants. And I just reached right down and handed those pair of sweatpants out. I was like, whoa, meant to be. And this gentleman was like, he was holding a sign that said, in need of a blessing. And he said, and if they try to tell me there's not a man upstairs, and I didn't say anything about my disagreement with the man or God or anything. I didn't do that. I just was like, nodded and, blew him kisses and then told him I love him. But yes, I did agree with his general sentiment that it did express that the universe was in work and was really doing everything for a reason. And it felt really meant to be. It was crazy. And then as I drove ahead a little bit, there was another gentleman walking in the street. And he looked like rather small and like he would fit the jeans that I had. So I asked him, I was like, hey, do you want these pair of jeans? I hope they fit. And he said, yeah, that's great. And I said, what else can I do to help? And he said, I could really use $1.50. And I just pulled out my wallet and handed him a 20. And, so really trying to engage with them so I can get a better understanding about what their needs and wants are so that I can better, create my own way of helping. Don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to communicate. Don't be afraid to start a conversation. That's what I'm really trying to build up the courage to do more. And Rome really has driven the point home that you really want to spread this knowledge with these kids. And that's a great point. You really do, because you want to, first off, for me, I want people to know that there are people who love and support them and are fighting for them, and to not give up hope, which feels so fucking like an asshole thing to say to someone who's like unhoused. But it's like, what, when we're fighting for systemic change, well, that's why Rome says, spread the knowledge too, because it can help you build an army. So that's I think really powerful. Because we call ourselves comrades. We are soldiers. We are in this class war right now. So we really are like trying to build up our army, our militia, whatever you want to call it. And that takes people power, and it takes the simple start of a conversation to build that up. So yes, I'm gonna start making pamphlets to put in my kit so I can help getting the message out. I couldn't be more happy with how my mutual aid run this morning went. I was so pleased, so pleased. But I'm so determined. I gotta go back and get some more pants, and I gotta go find my friend who needed the pants. So I'm on a mission. So thanks y'all to who have supported me so far by donating to my mutual aid, my Venmo, to support my mutual aid efforts. If you haven't already, my Venmo is right there at @livevermano_Romano. If you could please donate. I am getting funds together to make these mutual aid kits. I am also going to be getting more involved. Hopefully, I just filled out their questionnaire and they're doing my reference check now. I'm trying to get more involved with a mutual aid group. I think for the state, let me check it right now. It's called Mutual Aid Disaster Relief. Mutual Aid Disaster Relief. Okay. So it's mutualaiddisasterrelief.org. Let me see where. Maybe they're national. Let's see about. Mutual Aid Disaster Relief is a grassroots disaster relief network based on the principles of solidarity, mutual aid, and autonomous direct action. Damn! Organizational structure. National network. This is amazing, y'all. Our national network is made up of many eco-activists, social justice activists, global justice activists, street medics, herbalists, permaculturists, mutual aid organizers, Black liberation organizers, community organizers, and others who are actively organizing around supporting disaster survivors in a spirit of mutual aid and solidarity. Okay, so wow, this is a nationwide mutual aid network. But it specifically deals with disaster relief. So I think they've been really active since COVID. Well, I think they've always been active, but I think I found out about them from like a COVID. Here. Radical solidarity in every corner of the world continues a compassionate and informed COVID-19 response to build access, resources, and power for all people in all places. The people of the world are crying out from the deepest places within them for no return to normal. Neoliberal capitalism, settler colonialism, and the state have been and continuing to be threatening life as we know it. We are at a crossroads. One way is annihilation and the other is liberation. Wow. Wow. I love him even more. Okay, I'm going to put this in the chat right now. Yes, please don't forget the Yemen cause. Thank you. Oops, sorry. Yemen cause. There is a humanitarian crisis happening in Yemen right now. And the U.S. has a huge role to play in it. I believe we're doing sanctions and funding. I think Saudi Arabia, please correct me if I'm wrong, but Saudi Arabia is really one of the big culprits behind it as well, who are taking the direct violence and military action. But I believe the U.S. is also committing sanctions against the Yemenis people, Yemeni people. So we cannot forget about the humanitarian crises that are happening across the world right now, in Yemen, Afghanistan, all these places right now. What was the other one I was going to say? Gaza and Syria, and Palestine. We need to be supporting our comrades across the world and in this fight for liberation from the oppressed. We are killed by American weapons in Yemen. Yep. That's, wherever there's a war, America has a play because of the military industrial complex. Because think about how much money was made by weapons manufacturers and defense contractors during the 20-year war with Afghanistan. And, now what weapons are the Taliban using? What weapons is every terrorist group using right now? Weapons made and sold by Americans. We have done this. America has done and is perpetrated and committed all this violence throughout the world. Yes, even in our country, but we even turn a blind eye to that. There's so many people who turn a blind eye to the police brutality that's happening here. We live in a militarized police state here, and people are still in denial about it. But people can. I don't know. It really frustrates me because people can be like, "Oh, what's happening like in Yemen? What's happening in Gaza? What's happening in Afghanistan? What's happening in all these places? What about the children?" And it's like, okay, well, what about the children in cages here? It's just the hypocrisy and the willful ignorance that so many people have in America is so frustrating and so probably the biggest barrier to igniting this revolution right now. Yes, America is the world's terrorist. Yeah, let's be clear about that. America is founded on terrorism, is the culprit. Everything. Oh, it's just so frustrating. America has a tie in everything, because that's just how we've asserted ourselves into every part of the world, for in the name of freedom and democracy, for those things that we so pride ourselves with. So, wow, I'm at 5 years. I think this is the most I've ever had right now. Thanks, y'all. Okay. We will bring democracy. Here, I'll put this up. Thanks, Ghost. We will bring democracy to the world with bombs. Meanwhile, we don't have democracy here. Yeah. No democracy in America. Let's be clear about that. When people are like, "What our democracy? We need to fight and preserve it." What democracy, hon? What are you talking about? What? So we need to remind people of that we don't even have democracy here. And we have to lay that out because many, many, many people do believe we have democracy because of the propaganda through mainstream media controlled by the establishment and the ruling class. We need to take self-responsibility to help fight and dismantle this by spreading the word. And I also want to throw a quick shout out because you mentioned bombs. Food Not Bombs is an awesome mutual aid network to get involved with if you haven't already. I tried to get involved with them. I haven't heard back. I need to follow up with them. I'm trying to get more involved with them in the Baltimore area. 6 viewers! Woo! I'm trying to get more involved with that in the Baltimore area. But yes, I'm going to put here, Mutual Aid Disaster Relief Network right here. Mutual Aid Disaster Relief.org. Oops. Okay. So that is a really good mutual aid network. Apparently that's nationwide that you can get involved with. Also, as I said, Food Not Bombs you can get involved with. Just do a simple Google search, mutual aid near me, and you will find so many things. So many things can be solved with a simple Google search, y'all. We are in the information age. This is amazing. Take full advantage of it. So that is, we've talked Striketober. We have talked mutual aid. I'm trying to think of anything else I'm missing about mutual aid. Any questions y'all have about Striketober or mutual aid, please post it in the chat. Happy to talk about it. Trying to think of whatever else. Mutual aid. So what else what I'm trying to build up the courage to do for mutual aid, is, really start within my like immediate community, my neighborhood, and go throughout the community and be like, hey, like I want to start like a mutual aid network for our community right now. What kind of things would you like to see in it? Like, I think a lot of us have gardens. Like, do we want to start like a veggie, and do we want to start a food pantry with our produce that we grow? Do we want to do a babysitting co-op? Do we want to do a dog walking co-op? Do we want to do a cat sitting and house sitting co-op? All of these things, I'm going to try and talk to my community, my neighbors about, and try and put you up, man. Ghost, thank you. Nick made a great point. Even $2 helps, because if you think it doesn't, is 100 others who feel the same, and that $200 not going to be those in need. Yep. I mean, think about it. Like, never think that it doesn't, never think you're not making a difference. However small, it always makes a difference. Butterfly effect. Big ripple effects from one single act. Big ripple effects. Keep that in mind. $1, $2, $5, 10, 20, whatever you got. Fuck money. But there's also other ways for mutual aid, because, cash sharing, that's cash sharing. That is a form of mutual aid, but there are many other forms of mutual aid, like some of the other co-op things I've just mentioned. So getting involved and spreading that in your community is a really great way to ignite the revolution. And really, because like I said, when we're talking about strikes, you can't talk strikes without mutual aid. So promoting mutual aid, especially throughout your community, just so you can start really building those community ties and building those relationships, that goes a long way. And that really is helping the revolution. That really is, spreading the message, putting little planting seeds of change, of communism, socialism, what are the things you want to plant? We can really start there by sharing the power of knowledge with mutual aid. You can talk about striking when you're doing mutual aid, and talk about mutual aid when you're striking. So it's really great. I want to make it very clear that when you're talking about striking or mutual aid, you need to be talking vice versa. You cannot have one without the other. I really think they're like synonymous with each other, because striking is a form of mutual aid, and mutual aid is a form of striking. So I think that's really beautiful, and we should be fully supporting this solidarity, again, with all workers. While I have all y'all here real quick, I'm going to read this list again from L. Bird, who is at Bernie DeVest on Twitter. Here they are. Okay, current U.S. strikes. Okay, so this one, the John Deere one, is the only one besides, like, I think probably like Nabisco, Amazon, probably those other two that have gotten any mainstream media attention. John Deere is just starting to get some attention. So we have 10,000 John Deere workers, 1,800 Spectrum workers, 1,100 Warrior Met coal miners, 800 nurses, caregivers at Sunrise Northeast Inc., Red Bank Valley teachers, 420 Haven Hill distillery workers, Reno bus drivers, 2,000 CWA Catholic healthcare workers, 1,400 Kellogg's employees, 450 steel workers in West Virginia strike against Special Metals and Sulzer pumps, dozens of the iron workers, local 851 workers in PA, El Milagro strike in Illinois, musicians of San Antonio, McDonald's workers strike, Upcoming. Northwestern Compass employees vote to strike. Instacart just went on strike on 10/16. These are more upcoming strikes. Nearly 30,000 workers. Yep, nearly 30,000 workers at Kaiser Permanente in California and Oregon authorized to strike. Damn, Anne Arundel. That was me. I'm in Anne Arundel County. Strike over. Anne Arundel school bus drivers won. That's great. ISU graduate student employees, Washington carpenters. Okay, great. And another one that I think would be really good and I would really like to see is the fact that there was like some Hollywood Writers Association or whatever was, let me see. I'll pull it back up because I can on Google because Google is beautiful. Hollywood workers were going to go on strike. Hollywood crew union votes to authorize strike against studios. So that was in the New York Times. But then, when did they stop? Yeah, that was October 4th. It was more than 50,000 film and television workers voted to authorize a union strike this weekend. But that was at the beginning of October. And then it even got close to 60,000 members. But then union leadership, Hollywood union votes to settle strike. Hollywood union votes to settle strike. And then, okay. And then the strike was averted as the union reaches deal with Hollywood producers. Okay, first off, union leadership is fucking trash. So I was so disappointed with this because if we had shut down Hollywood, y'all, that would be huge. That would have been huge. And I really, it's still Striketober. We're still going. I want them to fucking strike because I bet they just settled for fucking crumbs and incrementalism bullshit. Like they want us to settle to keep us happy and to shut us up. And that is not enough. The time is over for incrementalism and crumbs. We need radical systemic change in order to goddamn survive. Let's be clear about that. So what do we got? America created ISIS and Al-Qaeda to send their armies to Middle East. Find the reason to destroy poor countries. Yep. They got the Behrman, if I remember correctly. Yeah, here, I have it up. Let's see. What can we do to get them to strike? We need to tell them they need to get back on and strike. We need to tell them. I don't know how we can make this happen. Well, there's a Netflix strike that's about to be happening. The walkout that's going to be happening because of the smear campaigns against Julian Assange and someone else, I think, but hashtag free Julian Assange. There is a Netflix walkout happening. So maybe, fingers crossed, we can get these Hollywood workers to strike again because we need them to. We fucking need them to. Okay, I'm reading this article from the Washington Post right now. Bezos. The new agreement, which will need to be ratified by union members, includes mandatory 10-hour break periods between shifts and a 54-hour weekend. Workers had raised issues with work bleeding into evenings and weekends. The agreement covers about 40,000 union members on the West Coast. Members in local unions in other parts of the country will need to pursue a separate agreement. A large majority of IATSE members, which stands for the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, which is the union representing workers such as camera operators, makeup artists, and editors, is the one that reached the agreement with the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers, which is the group that represents major producers, including Walt Disney Studios, Paramount Pictures, Netflix, and Amazon. So a large majority of IATSE members, 98.6% of the 90% who voted, moved 2 weeks ago to authorize a strike of 60,000 workers, which is set to start Monday at 12:01 a.m. if an agreement was not reached. A strike in 2007 among television and film writers lasted for 14 weeks. Blah, 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 blah. So this sounds like fucking trash. I'm sorry, a 54-hour weekend? What the fuck? You're working 10-hour days? What is it? Wait a minute. Let me get this clear. Which will be ratified, includes mandatory 10-hour break periods between shifts in a 54-hour weekend. Whatever. So you get a 10-hour break between your shifts? Okay. And I need more information. But a 54-hour weekend is trash. We work way too fucking much. I'm sorry. I had this realization when I was working and doing my shitty fucking job a couple years ago, pre-COVID. I was like, I cannot believe I'm spending more time at work than at home with my family, with my cat. This sucks. I hate this. We all need to remember how much time and energy we spend at work that could and should be spent towards spending time with their loved ones, doing mutual aid with our community. Fuck, this is so ridiculous. We need to be remembering that. So I hope Hollywood strikers stay true to that. And this Netflix walkout really reinvigorates all these strikes that are happening and hopefully gets them to go back on strike, because we can't settle for less. We cannot settle for this incrementalism bullshit, y'all. I can't say it enough. We can't. It has gotten us into this crisis that we are in now. And it will quite literally be the death of us if we do not act and take the means to seek radical systemic change. One second, let me clean my glasses. Okay. Any questions about Striketober or mutual aid? I lost 2 viewers, but I have you 4. Thanks for sticking with me, y'all. Any questions, concerns, comments? Hi, new viewer. Any questions, concerns, comments about Striketober, mutual aid? Yeah, we got a lot going on. Okay, so raging against the machine. Yeah. That is, like I said, part of talking Striketober and general strike is raging against the machine, because striking is a form of mutual aid and mutual aid is a form of striking. So when we're talking about that, to rage against the machine, you know, because we live in a society, or America, that promotes individualism, rebelling and fighting that with resistance, with your community, with having these community ties, with having these community relationships, is a form of rebellion, is a form of resistance, is a form of raging against the machine, because that's exactly what they don't want you to do. They don't want you talking to your neighbor and talking about the issues that are affecting us, and building mutual aid networks and all that jazz. They do not want us to be doing that. So even just going out and talking to your community members, your neighbors, is a form of raging against the machine. It's we gotta remember, you know, it's not all pitchforks and torches and bats. It's community organizing and activism and mutual aid and grassroots organizing. That is also forms of raging against the machine. So by I'm trying to think of other ways. Obviously, you know, like protests we've seen, because you know, we've seen this past week, or I should say 2 weeks ago now, was the People versus Fossil Fuels protests in Washington, D.C., led by Indigenous water protectors and allies. And the goal was to get Biden to declare a climate emergency and seek any kind of action, maybe just even seem to care, you know. But that did not happen. Actually, what Biden did was he unleashed his Secret Service to illegally arrest these peaceful protesters. Yeah. Illegally arrest peaceful protesters who are advocating for him to declare a climate emergency to save us. That's what he did. That's what Biden did. So, you know, when we're thinking of who the enemy is here, who we're fighting against, who we're raging against, remember, it's the establishment, and the pigs, law enforcement, is sent out to enforce the laws of the establishment. They're not there to protect you. No, white people, forget all the bullshit you were told about, oh my God, if you see someone in a uniform, that's who you go to for help. Like, they're going to protect you. No, fuck all that bullshit. They're only there to serve and protect the establishment and private property of the establishment. That's it. That's it, honey. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about your rights. They've made that abundantly clear. So remember who your enemy is and who you're fighting against, because if you lose sight of that, you're losing the mission. So, always keep in mind who the oppressor is that you are fighting, and who our mutual enemy is, that we are all in this together, fighting in this class war that is happening right now. The 99%, y'all, think about how many of that is how many of that is us. I don't think that makes sense. But the 99% versus the 1%. So that's, again, why when I say community, I mean the world, because we're all in this together. The 99% of us are in this together. We got a comment. Ghost, thank you. Community gardens, awesome as well. A craftist that can repair or make cheaper clothes for those who need. Yes. Okay. So I'm actually, thank you, Ghost. Today, after I do this broadcast, I'm going to my local hardware store, and I'm going to buy grow bags and soil, and I think someone recommended horticulture charcoal if I'm growing food, so I can start growing my own food, and moving towards self-sustainability, but also so I can encourage other community members. I don't know where we would set up a community garden, but that would be really dope. But even just encouraging, people to get to do growing in their house, in their backyards, to be doing all that jazz. And then having like a community pantry somewhere in our neighborhood, or a community fridge, like that would be great. But yes, huge proponent for community gardens. That's awesome. Because, that's a huge form, again, of resistance, raging against the machine, because it's, that's self-sustainability. And it's, like, not to mention also like the mental health and physical benefits of just being outside and gardening and caring for a living things that is so good for you. Yes, community gardens as a form of mutual aid and raging against the machine. Hell yeah. All right, what else we got? What else we got? Raging against the machine. Okay, so as I kind of just talked about, let me just charge my phone real quick. Raging against the machine, and how Biden illegally arrested peaceful protesters. Yeah, so Biden and the establishment, because let's remember, it's not just the Democrats, it's not just Biden and the Democrats, it's all of them. It's one big club, and we ain't in it. It's all them that are violating our rights right now, and have made it abundantly clear that the time for peaceful protesting is over. It's over. Okay? The revolution is happening. People are already dying because of police brutality, because of COVID, because of lack of health care, because of poverty, because of they're working themselves to death. We are living under violence. We are in the revolution right now. We are seeing this happen. Striketober and this mutual aid, all this mutual aid networks that are being set up, is a form of the revolution that is happening right now. Pick a side. Pick that. I don't want to sound so binary, because I don't want to make it such like a black and white issue, but there is a revolution happening right now, and it is time to pick a side. It is time to be on the side of the oppressed, and you're fighting for the liberation of all of the oppressed, or you're on the other side of the oppressor. It's that simple. It is that simple right now. And the oppressor, again, to remind you who the enemy is the U.S. regime, which consists of the white supremacy-based capitalism and imperialism dominated by the patriarchy. That is what we're trying to dismantle and abolish and rebuild America from scratch, from the beginning. And then that, I truly believe, is going to be the spark that sets out the global proletariat revolution throughout the world. And I believe it will be the match that starts the fire of the global proletariat revolution and really bringing us together into a global community. And I think we're headed there. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but I'm feeling really optimistic about where we're headed right now with all these strikes happening and the promotion of mutual aid happening. And whatever hashtag trending, but people are talking about it. It's happening. People are taking action. This is big. So it's time to get involved and pick a side. And you can do that by like some of the things we've just talked about, by getting involved with the strikes that are happening, supporting Strikers Fund, getting involved with mutual aid, etc., etc. There's so much you can do to get involved and help fight for the liberation of the oppressed, because we are all oppressed under capitalism. We are all dealing with trauma under capitalism. And we, the working class, the 99%, are survivors of this. We've lost some people. Some are victims. We need to be fighting for them and for ourselves. So it's time to pick a side, y'all. And arm up. Get ready with some self-defense. Learn how to defend yourselves. And promoting mutual aid so you build your community, learning how to grow your own food, all that is a form of resistance and rebellion and raging against the machine and getting prepared for this revolution and for post-revolution world, whatever that's going to look like. But we are fighting for that, and we cannot lose sight of that. So wow. Okay. So I'm rounding on in like an hour here. I've had I'm so happy with how this worked, y'all. Y'all are amazing. Thank you. And let me just take cause this is my first live stream since the events. Let me just take a minute to personally thank everyone. I could not have gotten through those rough 2 days. And even now I would not have, nothing would have happened without all y'all. So thank you so much. So much love, so much appreciation, so much gratefulness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The fight is just beginning though. So if you could please support by getting involved with strikes, mutual aid, donating, retweeting, sharing, starting a community garden. I am doing mutual aid. If you want to donate to my Venmo, I'm going to go do a supply run to Sam's to go get some stuff for my mutual aid kits. I'm probably going to go do a Goodwill run to get some clothes. We need more like you. You're so sweet. Thank you, Christopher. And Josanna was such a star. I was so proud of her for what she did for you. Okay. Josanna is a goddess. Like, I pray to her. Like, when I pray, I pray to Josanna. Okay? Because she's a god, queen. We need temples to her. Okay? And Afeni, all these goddesses we are blessed with, we need temples. And we need to pray and then be thankful for them. Yes. Josanna, Black Kami, Carolina, Joy, Moth, Aleem, FHL, JB, RJ, thank you all. I love you. Thank you all. Yeah, Josanna though, really fucking came through, man. Really came through. I mean, all y'all did. But I can't even thank y'all enough. Really, I'm falling short with words. Thank you for saying we need more like you. Facts. Thank you. But yeah, this is just the beginning of the fight. And let's keep in mind, this is a fight. This is a revolution, y'all. It is a bloody revolution. People are dying. Do not lose sight of that. That there is violence being perpetrated and pushed among us. And we are all falling victims to it. And we are all oppressed under the system. And it is up to us to fight back. Literally fight back. That is how we rage against the machine. And you support mutual aid. Thanks, Shauna. Heart. Support mutual aid. Support all the strikes that are happening. Because again, this is just the beginning. Very exciting times ahead of us. So what else do I got going on for y'all? What else? Well, I just can't believe I even have 4 people watching me right now. This is so funny. This is awesome. I haven't had this many viewers at one time since I've started doing my live stream on my own channel. Oh, okay. Well, I'm also doing live streams now on the Populist Voice Network, which Compton J made me network director of. Please like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and we will be moving to Rockfin soon because we're getting censored on YouTube, y'all. This is crazy. We're under the age of censorship. Gotta fight back. So I will be doing a live stream tonight at 7 p.m. My show, Live Positive, will be on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we'll be talking about, this Friday, tonight, we'll be talking about all things strikes. And of course, we'll add in some mutual aid in there as well. But it's going to be strike focused. So that's why I kind of just, I grazed a little bit on it today because I'm going to be heavy involved in that tonight. So catch me on the Populist Voice Network, Live Positive, 7 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, y'all. And what else? I'm going to be doing more mutual aid, networking, running, supplying, etc. So if you could support me through my Venmo, I'm going to do a tweet so you can tweet it out, retweet it out. But I need to go do a supply run for my mutual aid kits and go to Goodwill and get some clothes to hand out. I'm also, I am the chair and a co-chair of the Maryland Green Party, and we are getting ready. I had the idea to have the Maryland Green Party host a fundraiser for mutual aid. So we're going to be getting involved with that and planning that out. And also I'm thinking of doing that as a way, to help doing like recruiting events throughout the state of Maryland, to, reinvigorate our chapters, our locals. So I'm thinking of, I don't know, doing something really fun. So stay tuned. For this fundraiser, I'm thinking of, it's going to be called like the Revolution Playlist Rally. And it's going to be a hybrid event. I'm not sure where it's going to be held yet, but I'm thinking it's going to be held in Baltimore. And it's going to be like a concert rally with speakers. And it's all the proceeds and items that we raise for the event are going to be donated to some local mutual aid groups. So that's what I got going on with the Green Party and some more mutual aid efforts. Also, December 11th, End the Damn Wars is hosting a mutual aid event, which I'm involved with as well, and I believe will be taking place. There's going to be a few locations across the country, but I believe we're going to be starting one that I will be involved with in Baltimore. So stay tuned for that. And that's why I also wanted to do this mutual aid event before it, because I wanted to, get it as like a pre-event to that so we can get a really good turnout for that big mutual aid event. So stay tuned. I will be posting a lot about that in store, because mutual aid is key to this revolution, y'all. So don't forget about it when you're talking about striking, when you're talking about revolution, when you're talking about anything. You could try and tie mutual aid into it. I think that's a really great way to get the conversation started about the revolution. So, wow, that's already an hour. So again, join me tonight for my show on the Populist Voice Network, Live Positive. Please subscribe to that channel. And do y'all have any questions for me? Or any thoughts, comments, concerns? Otherwise, I'll call it a day. I'm going to go. What was I going to go do? Oh, get my gardening supplies. Yay. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to start gardening. But y'all got any questions for me? Any thoughts, comments, concerns? Please drop it in the chat, in the comment section. Oh, I have a text message. Yikes, my mom texted me. Things have been contentious with my mother since shit went down, shall I say. She asked me what are my plans for this weekend. What are my plans for this weekend? I believe there's visuals being held. If you follow Candles for Assange on Twitter, candlelight visuals are going to be held across the country this weekend, across the world, I think, in support for Julian Assange's trial coming up, his extradition trial. And this is big, y'all. The fight for Julian Assange and to free Julian Assange is here. We got to fight for this. We got to fight for our amendment right to freedom of speech. I mean, and this is not even a U.S. citizen this is applying to. Like, if we do not fight for this and make sure that Assange isn't free, along with Daniel Hale, etc., all these other whistleblowers, heroes, it's really downhill from here. I mean, we're already downhill. We're already going. Yeah, we're already there. But that's really scary. That's really scary. Because we need to rely on our journalists to get the truth out. And if this is how they're going to be met with their consequences for telling the truth. I forget what the great Assange quote about the truth. Shit. I'm trying to think of the quote that Julian Assange. There's one, if wars can be started by lies, they can be stopped by truth. And then he has another one about, like, if the people you expose the truth about are the ones that are not getting punished. Or I'm butchering it. I'm going to find it and relay it. I'm just butchering it. But yes, I believe I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. this weekend and do a vigil for Assange in front of Merrick Garland's house. Because we need to free our mans. So, yes. Stay tuned. See what protests are going on around you this weekend. Mutual aid events you can get involved with. Mutual aid networks you can get involved with. Starting up mutual aid on your own. Do it. Get involved. Start it up, y'all. All right. The Assange case is huge. Everyone should be paying attention. Yeah. Yes. This is huge. Shout out to Comrade Misty, who is like fucking devoting her life to this shit. We need to support the whole fight to free Julian Assange. We cannot lose this one. This is a really good chance to show some people power and really fight this. Really fight this. Honestly, I would really love this. Drop this in the comments what y'all think. But I'm feeling a little spontaneous. And I would really fucking so his extradition trial starts on October 27th. I believe it's October 27th and October 28th. And then the COP26, the UN's climate change conference or whatever, starts on October 31st. And where's the UK extradition trial for Julian Assange being held? Okay. So I was thinking, let me know what y'all think. I was thinking of flying out to London on the 26th, which is in 4 days. Flying out to London to protest the Julian Assange case and to advocate that we free him. And then take another flight a few days later to Glasgow to protest the UN's meeting on the climate crisis and say, fuck all y'all, do something about it. So I want to buy a plane tickets. I would need to raise some money to make this happen. But I think this could happen. And I'm trying to see what UK comrades are already there, like making this happen. So I want to go join the fight over there. So let me know what y'all think. If y'all would help support and donate to my Venmo to get me over there to go support this fight to free Assange and to save our goddamn humanity and planet. let's go make a goddamn scene, y'all. Let's go. If you can't go to the UK to help support, donate to me, and I'm a go try and do it. I'm a go make a scene and start some shit up, because the world cannot be blind on this anymore. We all need to be talking about this. We all need to be talking about this. Ghost, real quick, had a quote. It is the role of good journalism to take on the powerful abusers, and when powerful abusers are taken on, there's always a bad reaction. So we see that controversy, and we believe that is a good thing. Yep. Julian Assange, man, got some great quotes. Got to free our mans. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for being here today with me. Catch me tonight on the Populist Voice Network for Live Positive, and I'm gonna go on Twitter. Probably join the Twitter space. Catch me there. Bye, y'all. Much love.